Navigating the real estate market can be a daunting task, filled with complex decisions and potential pitfalls. While online apps provide a plethora of listings, they lack the nuanced insights and personalized guidance crucial for making informed choices. This is where the expertise of a professional realtor becomes invaluable. Realtors possess a deep understanding of market trends, property valuations, and negotiation strategies that ensure your interests are well represented throughout the transaction. Moreover, partnering with a local realtor offers distinct advantages. Our intimate knowledge of the community, from neighborhood characteristics to local amenities, allow us to match you with the properties that align perfectly with your lifestyle and preferences. Local agents have established networks with trusted professionals such as inspectors, contractors, and lenders, which can streamline the buying and selling process. By choosing to work with a local realtor, you're not just making a transaction, you're building a relationship with someone who is invested in your community and committed to your success. Here's a question most people don't think to ask before buying or selling a home. Is my agent just here for a transaction, or are they actually in it with me? Because in a town like Shawnee, that question matters a lot. See, real estate isn't just about listings and contracts. It's about trust, timing, and having someone on your side who actually knows the ground you're standing on. Let me paint a picture. A couple relocating out of state found a home they loved here in Shawnee, and it happened to be one of my listings. They clicked on an app and got connected with an agent who's based more than an hour away. She was friendly and responsive, but she was clearly lost in Shawnee. She brought in her usual inspector, her preferred title company, and even set the closing at an office in her own market, which meant everyone had to drive out of town. It was inconvenient for everyone involved, especially her clients, who were trying to build a life right here in Shawnee. The only one who wasn't inconvenienced was the agent herself, because she didn't plan to come back. Would you call that transactional or relational? And sure, she was leaning on the network she trusted, but that team wasn't familiar with our local market or how things work in Shawnee. What might be efficient in her home market just didn't translate here, and unfortunately her clients were the ones who paid the price. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not here to criticize out-of-market agents. I get it. When the market tightens and there's less to hunt from in your own backyard, some agents start to stretch farther. They're doing what they can to make a living. And as a listing agent working hard for my sellers, I want to throw the net wide. I want to attract the perfect buyer wherever they're coming from. This isn't about turf or tribalism, it's about collaboration. But when that buyer is brought in by an agent who works harder for the app than they do for their client, I expect them to show even more cooperation. That means supporting the local vendors who actually carry the transaction across the finish line. That's how we get to a successful closing that serves everyone well. But when someone stretches outside their area of expertise, things start to break down. Because when your agent isn't local, none of their people are either. That means home inspectors who aren't familiar with our housing stock, termite companies who tack on mileage or delay appointments because it's out of their usual territory, lenders who lack established relationships with local title companies and appraisers, and that leads to potential delays and inefficiencies, roofing techs that don't show up when they're needed because they're juggling projects in 3 other towns. And then there's title. If your agent insists on using a title company in their home market, you may be asked to close in an office that's 45 minutes away or more. Sure, part of the process is digital, but let's be real. Driving an hour to sign your closing papers with a stranger is a far cry from convenient. Even then, the abstracting still has to be done in Potawatomi County. That's the law. So their out-of-county title company ends up subcontracting part of the process back here anyway. You're getting pieced-together service that could have been streamlined from the start with a trusted local company. This is the ripple effect of hiring someone who isn't local. It starts with the agent, but it touches everything. The quality of the service, the timeline, the cost, and your overall experience. Now, on the flip side, when you hire local, you're not just hiring one person, you're hiring someone who's deeply connected to a trusted circle of professionals, people who know each other, work well together, and care about delivering a smooth experience, because our names and reputations are on the line too. That's the difference between a transaction and a relationship. In Shawnee, most of us live and work side by side. Your lender might also coach your kids' softball team. Your home inspector might sponsor a local nonprofit, and your title rep is probably someone you'll see again at Homeland. These aren't strangers, they're neighbors, and when you work with neighbors, you get a different level of care. It's not just about convenience, it's about commitment. That's what relationship-based real estate looks like. It's local, it's connected, it's built on trust and long-term investment, not just in the deal, but in the community. Now let's talk about something most people don't know, the Realtor Code of Ethics. Article 11 says we shouldn't take on work outside our area of competence. Standard of Practice 11.1 says we're to be familiar with the area where the subject property is located. And I interpret that to mean that just because we're licensed statewide doesn't mean we should try to represent clients everywhere. I wouldn't take a listing in Tulsa. Instead, I'd make a personal introduction to a trusted agent who lives and works in that market, someone I know, someone I've built a relationship with, and someone I trust to treat you the way I would. If I was asked to represent a buyer for commercial property listed by a commercial brokerage, I wouldn't dream of taking on that level of nuanced business by myself. I would engage a commercial colleague who's in that scene day in and day out. Your interests are put ahead of mine. And know this, the introduction to that other agent isn't based on someone who shares a brand name with me. It's based on who's the best fit for you. I've built strong relationships with agents across Oklahoma and around the country, and I'm brand agnostic when it comes to matching people with the right professionals. It's not about a franchise, it's about a fit, service, and shared values. That's what a relationship-based approach looks like, even beyond Shawnee. There's a link in the description below that'll show more about my agent network. Click on it after the video. You might have heard someone say that real estate is mostly online now, so your agent could be anywhere. But here's the truth. While listings may appear online, relationships and much of the work are not. Local market knowledge isn't something you can download, and neither is local reputation. And when things go sideways, and in real estate things do go sideways sometimes, you want someone who can pick up the phone and call the right person right away. That only happens when your agent knows the other agents, knows the service providers, and knows who can get done. This isn't about territory, it's about responsibility. If an agent can't name 3 lenders who've successfully helped local buyers in the last 30 days, how are they going to guide you? If they don't know which home inspector actually gets on the roof instead of using a drone, are they truly protecting your investment? Now, there's a caveat. If it's a 2-story house or the roof has a steep pitch, we're fine with them throwing up a drone. Hiring local means hiring someone who's already done the homework, earned their trust, and already knows how to advocate for you in this market. It means hiring someone who's not just selling in Shawnee, they're sold on Shawnee. And that's more than a tagline, it's a mindset. Because someone who's sold on Shawnee is invested in our schools, our streets, our businesses, and our people. We're not just chasing transactions, we're building relationships. And that's a difference you'll feel at every step of the way. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in Shawnee, make sure the person walking with you actually knows the road. Make sure they're not just in it for the closing. Make sure they're going to be here afterward too. Because real estate isn't just a transaction, it's a relationship, and you deserve someone who treats it that way. If you've got questions or want to talk about your next move, I'd be honored to be part of your story.